live, the home of the Chicago Bulls, the United Center. I'm Kevin Harlan, joined by Chris Webber and Greg Anthony. David Aldridge is our sideline reporter. Looking at Chicago, they want to turn it around after that loss to the Spurs in San Antonio. And that does your confidence guys no favor. They got manhandled in that one. It wasn't pretty.
And no doubt that the fight was there, but no matter what they tried on that night, it just wasn't meant to be.
They made a positive play here and there, but just couldn't string enough of them together to mount a serious run.
So Detroit will get the first possession. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. And Detroit, looking at who they've got. Jackson and KCP are in the backcourt together. Tobias Harris is out there with Marcus Morris. And it's Drummond in at the 5. And both these teams certainly chomping at the bit for tonight's game. Chris, this is a big one.
Oh, I love it. Two conference rivals looking to prove something. I mean, these are the games where you measure yourself.
Yes. Now, here's Lopez. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Wade gets the bucket.
Wow, risky shot there size-wise, but the incredible skill that he possesses allows that one to go.
And the incredible determination. He wasn't going to be stopped there. Even though he wasn't as big as the defender, he took it right to him and got the job done.
Here's Drummond after the made shot from Dwayne Wade. Caldwell Pope kicks to Jackson. Just 4 to shoot. From beyond the arc, and it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. Pistons on defense. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of the Warriors.
Yeah, it's just hard to make up when you have an inability to make free throws consistently, and that's why they ended up losing.
It felt more to me like they weren't focused enough overall. I mean, couldn't make good opportunities from the line.
It's tipped. Wade kicks to Lopez. Yes, that goes in. Lopez has got his first basket.
Oh, that is just weak defense there. I'm pretty sure that was not the plan to give him those kind of baskets at the hoop.
That defense was awful. That was just pathetic. He should not be that wide open right near the bucket.
Detroit with the ball after the Bulls pick up 2. Drummond dishes to Jackson. Terrific design on the pick play, and he lays it in.
Kevin, Drummond is making great strides in his all-around game, spotting his teammates for a clean look at the rim.
Well, the one issue for Drummond he has had his whole career, Chris, is his free throw shooting.
Well, it's resulted in a fair amount of the hacker Drummond moments that are going to continue in this case. But actually, they may not continue because we've seen some rule changes that may help him spend more time in the game, because last year it limited how much he could play late in close games. It's odd since his release looks decent enough, but when he's on that line, he starts to fall apart.
Now here's Jackson. 17 points for him last game against Golden State. There's 31 seconds left here in the opening quarter. Gibson the screen. Outside Rondo. A three-pointer, no good. The Pistons have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Here's Jackson. His scoring has been there on a regular basis. He's averaging more than 14 points a game. Caldwell Pope with a wide open look, and the go-ahead bucket, no good. It's all tied in Chicago, and the second quarter will get underway just after this short break. We welcome you back. Glad to have you with us as more basketball is on the way. During the break, the players getting refueled with Gatorade. They're looking amped up and ready to get going once again. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Bulls?
How good has the ball movement been here? Just absolutely terrific.
Yeah, really unselfish. The guys are in it for each other. I mean, racking up huge assist totals. Love to see the game being played this way.
Now the Bulls with it.
Now, when you watch this Detroit team play, you can't help but think about perhaps one of the most legendary teams ever to play in the NBA, the Bad Boys Pistons. The amazing team that would deliver back-to-back titles to my city of Detroit. One of the toughest teams ever in any sport.
McDermott and Mirotic, the sharpshooting forwards. Grant is out there with Isaiah Cannon. And it's Portis in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago.
I have no idea why he would have even attempted that. That's a horrible turnover.
Chicago leading. And those back-to-back titles for the Bad Boys coming in 89 and 90. One of the few teams, Chris, to get the better of Jordan for a brief stretch of time.
Well, I tell you what, I grew up on this team. My home, Detroit. I love this team, the Pistons, the Bad Boys. This was a team full of characters, and they were all tough as nails. Zeke was the leader, but 1 through 5, and on the bench, everyone would put an elbow in your chest to discourage your shot.
Detroit with the ball, following the three-point attempt by Nikola Mirotic. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. And looking back at last season, here's a look at the three-point and two-point shot attempt averages for the Pistons.
And the long-range game, a staple for them offensively. It's clear they embrace the value of that extra point, and spacing the floor, something they look to do every time they're on the court.
And we're about a minute into the second quarter of play. Now, here's Grant, looking for his first basket still in this one. Pass to Cannon. Back to Grant. Nailed from three-point land. So it's Detroit now. It's a 5-point game. Smith kicks to Baines. He dishes it to Harris. Back to Baines. Out to Smith. The Pistons working the ball around now. 6 to shoot. Latrey. It's rebounded by Portis. The Bulls leading by 5.
And really, you got to commend the Bulls for the success they've had in the draft. If you look at that roster, you see a ton of big-minute players who were drafted by the Bulls. They've done a great job of finding players to fill roles within that team.
Detroit with the ball. Following the miss by Nikola Mirotic. Here's Hilliard. And the shot no good, a bit short.
He showed some true grit there, battling through the defense, but they were ready for him all the way there.
There's the pass to Portis. Back to Grant. They set the pick. Jumper off the screen. Goes back up. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. Chicago shooting their first free throw of the night here.
And team free throw numbers really about as good as you could ask for. Around 80% on the season.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Taj Gibson's checked in for Mirotic. Butler comes in for Doug McDermott. Wade, he's checked in for Cannon. Rajon Rondo is subbed in for Grant. Free throw good, Portis. And with the Bulls and their draft success, a lot of it has come with picks, Greg, later on in the draft.
Yeah, the last lottery pick the Bulls had was Derrick Rose. Not a bad one there. But since then, they've drafted or made trades on draft day to find a ton of rotation players. Give a lot of credit to their scouting department for their continued success. I mean, that's a tough break for the D. I mean, he took the hit and drew the whistle.
Chicago shooting their second and third shots at the line right here. And that one misses. Robin Lopez is checked in for Portis. So he comes up empty at the line. Pistons trail by 8. Jackson with it. three-point range and released it in time, but it's off the mark. And we've reached halftime in this one. It's the Bulls finishing the quarter on a tremendous 8-0 run. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Dwayne. What happened offensively that got you guys going?
We just gave each other some space. The court was open a little bit. I think Coach did a great job of making some adjustments. We was all being able to attack.
All right, Dwayne, good luck in the second half. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, thank you, David. And folks, don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here once again, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. We welcome you back to the halftime. It was a closely contested first quarter for Chicago. Nothing seemed to give way on either side of the scoring column as they wrapped up the period all knotted up. They were in the driver's seat once we got into the second quarter. Their lead is now 8 here at the half, and they've got all the momentum on their side. And Shaq, what did you see out there from the Bulls?
I don't think anyone expected to see such numbers from the bench. You know, I'm impressed. It was what they needed, the jolt they needed, Ernie. Wow, I never knew their bench was. Matter of fact, I don't even know any of their players coming off the bench. Man, keep going, bench guys.
Kenny, what'd you think about Detroit?
Well, I think they could be way more physical than they have been in the first half. Their defense gave up way too many easy looks, and that kind of defense will turn to a loss any night.
That'll do it for now. Second half coming up. We'll see you after the game.
And welcome back as we take you for a cruise up the Chicago River. Beautiful, beautiful Chicago, Illinois. The second half just about to get going here. We see some coaches who keep their young players, Chris, on a very tight leash. They limit their minutes. They keep them on the bench. If they make a mistake, they're yanked quickly out of a game. Others give their youngsters more leeway, and they work to instill confidence in their play on the floor. How do you strike that right balance?
Well, I think you strike that right balance by knowing and understanding your player. You know, guys aren't just playing in games. Most time is spent in practices, so you're getting to know the habits of your player, the work ethic of your player, the mental capacity of your player. So many times coaches know before the first game how much they want to play or not play a guy. Now, it's up to you as a player to prove your coach wrong, and no matter how much trust he has in you, to continue to increase and to build on that trust that he's shown in you. But, you know, it's a fine, delicate balance. But what you want to make sure, though, that every guy is accountable on both ends of the floor. Every guy is unselfish, and that you kind of promote leaders and you set a culture of leadership on your team. So I think a lot of it is up to the coach to set the tone, and usually great players will follow.
Well said. Checking out the group for Stan Van Gundy to start the second half. Jackson and KCP are in the backcourt together. Marcus Morris is out there with Tobias Harris, and it's Drummond in at the 5 spot. And the second free throw, good. Chris, there may be some debate around the league right now, but in your mind, who is the best power forward in the game when you take everything into account?
Wow, I mean, you look at Anthony Davis, Blake Griffin, Draymond Green, Zebo. When I look at all of them, I'd probably have to go with Draymond Green because he plays defense, he rebounds well. Anthony Davis is right there, and maybe just his teammates haven't allowed me to pick him. But you know what? I would have to say Draymond Green and Anthony Davis are on my short list.
Yeah. Here's Caldwell Pope. No good from outside.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound department, but that oftentimes is all it takes.
Rondo kicks to Butler. And it's Lopez at the elbow. Shot clock at 3. Three-pointer, Wade. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. And here is the shot chart as we see how things are going.
And this is what happens when you are having a tremendous offensive game. They are getting great looks and knocking down shots all over the floor. I don't think we're going to see them deviate from this approach from here on out. They've got the recipe for success.
Pistons trail by 7.
And you look over the career of Dwayne Wade. He was initially a slasher, but he's improved his shot and pull-up jumper immensely, and even has become a threat from deep if you give him space.
Jackson passes to Harris. And it hung on the rim, but wouldn't fall for him. The Bulls leading by 7. Outside Rondo. Gibson with the screen on Harris. The shot by Butler, nobody around. And it's good. He planted his feet on the pick and shielded the defender off. Thinking again about how Wade's skills have evolved over the years, his offensive game has grown immensely since his rookie season.
And it's why he will go down as one of the all-time greats. His work ethic in improving his game. Fantastic post-up player as a guard. Wade's ability to score in any fashion is what makes him one of the great closers in our game.
Here's Jackson. Jimmy Butler making his last shot. Count that one. The Bulls' lead has been cut back down to a 7-point margin, getting the points there from Jackson. Rondo dishes to Gibson. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
They've been looking out of sync offensively.
And they need a bucket in a big way here to regain some confidence.
Here's Rondo. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. And it's an 11-point Chicago lead.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
And so he earns a trip to the line. Official saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
Oh, when Harris is down deep, he is exceptional at being physical. Really puts defenders in a tough spot.
For Detroit, they have converted 1 of 2 free throws so far today.
And they've been ordinary on the season as well, just about 75% from the line.
The first free throw is good. Both teams will make substitutions. And Harris drops them both.
We've seen it time and time again. Marksmanship from the line.
Grant kicks to Mirotic. And a great job by the D contesting that shot and forcing the miss. And we've reached the end of the third. Bulls lead by 9. From the United Center in Chicago, back in a moment. And now let's take a listen to Stan Van Gundy on a recent huddle.
They're not going to walk it up the floor. Even when we score, they're running it. You do not have a chance to relax. The only place you can relax is here.
Stan Van Gundy getting his guys in their break, in their huddle moments ago. Only when they're in the huddle, though. Otherwise, it's go time. You can say catch your breath, but then get back out there and compete.
Well, they're getting challenged by the pace of this game. For their best results, they need to do everything just a little bit quicker.
The fourth quarter just moments away now as we welcome you back. McDermott and Mirotic, the sharpshooting forwards. Isaiah Cannon is out there with Grant. And it's Portis in at the 5, roaming the paint. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Yeah, easy call.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
Free throw, good. Portis. Caldwell Pope, he's checked in for Harris. So he gets them both. Well, Chris, we have a question for you sent in from one of our fans, from Todd up in New Hampshire. They want to know what your favorite moment was as an NBA player, a question I'm also curious to know about.
Wow. My favorite moment as an NBA player, very honestly, I would say it would be the day of being drafted. I mean, you know, after then you have so many great moments, so many players that you play with, that you love to play with. It's hard to separate anything without disrespecting another moment. So I just really feel that the greatest moment of my career was stepping on that stage in Detroit at the Palace in my hometown, with my finger up and just knowing that I made it. You know, for all of us, the goal is to make it. It's not about to be a Hall of Famer. It's not about to be an all-star. It's not about to win a championship, even though those are dreams. But you can't do it until, you know, you make it. And so for me, putting that suit on, seeing my father shed tears, you know, seeing my mother's eyes and the twinkle she had in her eyes, seeing my brothers and my 3 brothers and my sister, how happy they were, you know, that definitely was the moment, because it was a family moment, and it was for Detroit, and so it was special.
Well said. A minute 42 left to play in the final quarter. Lopez a screen. Shot off the pick. Mirotic's shot is off.
The mechanics totally out of whack right now. He's lost his feel for the shot.
Oh my gosh, he's really playing poor out there. It might just not be his night.
Smith kicks to Morris. Puts one up from 19. Again the miss by Morris. The Bulls leading by 11. Grant outside. It's stolen by Morris. And here we go with Morris, running it up the court. The rebound by Grant. The Bulls have gone 0-3 to start the fourth quarter.
And it looks like just playing the last bit of this one out in what should be a nice win here for Chicago.
The differential in assists led to a lot of open looks, and also helped to get more guys involved in the offense easy.
And they made the defense adjust, but they just couldn't come up with an answer.
And so this will mark the 15th win of the year for them. And he hits the first of 3.
Now, you knew when you heard that Stan Van Gundy was coming to Detroit that they would be built around protecting their basket. This team has continued to focus on tough defense to win games. They have the talent and the effort to continue to improve.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Taj Gibson's checked in for Mirotic. Jimmy Butler comes in for McDermott. And Dwayne Wade subbed in for Jaren Grant. And he sinks the second. And if you aren't playing defense on this Piston team, then you will not see the court. It's just that plain and that simple.
Well, you're exactly right. It's a saying that says the bench is a coach's best friend. What better incentive than to sit that guy on the bench for being lazy on defense? And good team defense starts at the top down. Coach Van Gundy has been preaching it, and the leaders on the team have brought it in. They do a great job of rebounding to close out possessions. Pistons also contest every shot they can get to, even on the perimeter.
Now a timeout called by Detroit. They're losing by 14. 51 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Rajon Rondo is checked in for Chicago. .51 seconds left in the fourth. And shot by Caldwell Pope, no good.
That would have been lucky had it fallen. Poor shot selection.
Well, that's just not wise to take that shot in that situation. He'll think better of it next time around.
Now here's Rondo. Dishes to Butler. Gibson passes to Lopez. Shot clock at 6. Lopez sets a screen for Butler. A baseline J. That one rolling around and rims out.
Well, first let's talk about the pick. That was as lazy of a screen as I've ever seen. You have to commit on it if you want to get your teammate open.
There's 18 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Grant against Jackson. And here is Grant. And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. A confident win, and one where they clearly showed the greater effort.
Yeah, I mean, it was a solid performance, particularly here at home. And I think they built off that edge of being here and playing with just a little more confidence than their opponent.
And that'll do it, folks. For Chris Webber, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thank you for being with us. And now time to go to Ernie Johnson, who's alongside Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith.
The 2K Sports post-game show.
And Ernie Johnson here again with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith. Without further ado, let's Robin Lopez.
Interesting that he would be the guy to come rescue the team. But hey, someone had to put a stop to their losing streak. I'll be honest, I did not think it would be him, Ernie. I owe you an apology, sir. Sir, I apologize.
Very solid from the floor tonight. Hit on over half of his shot attempts, so he was able to push the action but still be efficient. The team rode that effort all the way to the bank.
And that'll wrap things up. Thank you for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, for Kenny the Jet Smith, for Kevin Harlan, wherever he might be, and for the rest of the 2K Sports crew, the best in the business. This is Ernie Johnson. Good night, everybody.